This is another CTI security briefing. This one's on hand grenades. The problem we have is that the hand grenades are being used more and more along the border. What you need to know is exactly what the deal is with the hand grenade and why it's such a problem for the bad guy as well as the good guys here. A hand grenade is safe when it's in this condition. When they pull the pin out, here's where the problem starts. As soon as they let go of this spoon, they have between a second and 5 seconds before this is going to go off. And they're going to be very worried that they have a 1 second delay on this going off, or maybe even instantaneously. So their deal is they want to be as far away from this as possible when it actually does go off, and they want to expend as little time in a room as they possibly can when it goes off. Once this spoon goes, this grenade now is armed, ready to go, and there's nothing they can do about it at this point. It is going to go off. So normally all they're going to do is throw it for a short distance or roll it for a short distance and run. As we discussed, the key factor is for them to their own safety and remembering the delay that they have to deal with. So not like a traditional grenade throw, what they're normally going to do is they're going to pull this pin at that last second, reach into that door or step into that door. Once they're in the door, they're going to release the spoon and they're going to throw the grenade. Not very far, it's just going to bound a few feet. That's going to be the end of their attack. Fortunately or unfortunately, most of the grenades used by the local gangs started really in LA and New York, is they used old hand grenade dummy casings, took out the actual igniter, the time delay that set off a normal grenade, and they would fill it. What they do is they fill it with black powder. When they fill it with black powder, and it doesn't take that much to fill one of these grenades, when they fill it with black powder, then what they've got is they weld the bottom shut, so it's shut, they put the top in, and then all they do is they add a fuse to it. In many cases, all they do is add the fuse by just folding it back over and then taping it in place. All right, now the biggest problem they have is when they do it this way, the issue with the black powder is such that it doesn't have enough explosive power to actually blow the grenade up. So normally what happens is it shoots things out the front and maybe shoots the weld out the back end of it. It sounds dangerous, it looks dangerous, and when you see it go off, the flash from it's going to be dangerous, but pretty much at the end of the situation, this grenade is going to look in the same shape it is now, just both ends will be blowing off of it. So it's not that dangerous. Actually, much more dangerous, if you're going to use black powder, would be for them to improvise a grenade using plastic. This plastic, even with it's wrapped with a couple nails around it and taped to the outside of it, this becomes much more deadly than this could ever become. So remember, if you're talking about a grenade, they're not going to throw them very far. If it's a real grenade, it will have explosive power. It can kill up to about 16 feet. It'll wound up to about 50 feet away from it. But that's optimal conditions for it to have that happen. In most cases, this person's only going to throw this about 4.5, 5 feet inside the doorway. He's going to do it underhanded, and he's going to roll it basically into the room. So if you're far away from the doors, your chances of survival are great. If they're using an improvised hand grenade, it's even more chances of your survival because the fragmentation of this grenade isn't going to be big enough to actually cause any real damage to anybody if they're using black powder. This would be much more dangerous, and this is the kind of thing that you'd probably see more and more used in Mexico itself, where it's taped, nails are taped around it. This then becomes a very deadly hand grenade, and it's the same way. They light the fuse and set it and throw it. I hope this is going to help you, and when you're dealing with situations where you're going to go to dinner tonight or you're going to go out for dancing, that this is the kind of security you're going to need.